Hi, I'm Eric Nakamura.
And I'm Martin Wong.
And we're doing a video podcast of issue number 64.
And this is our first video podcast, so give us a break.
Yeah, thanks. So, Giant Robots number 64, it looks like that. And on the cover is Huke. So that's Black Rock Shooter is the character.
Huke is the artist, yeah.
Yeah, Huke is the artist, Black Rock Shooter is the character. She's called Black Rock Shooter because of a video game. Girl carrying a big cannon shooting, 47 giant rocks or something like that.
And
it was
one tiny little emaciated girl.
Yeah, she could, but as Huke says, the gun is quite light. So I went to Japan and I actually interviewed Huke at his place. He lives in a place called Otaku, but it's not Otaku, but Otaku, which is just the name of the place. And I interviewed him at his house. He basically lives in a nice house, but he has a bottom studio that is completely full of Ashley Wood figures and a computer, I guess like massive computer screen and a few computers that he does art.
Now you met him at his house, but most people don't know what he looks like, right?
Ah, that is the thing. Nobody does know what he looks like. Mr. Huke is very anonymous, so he doesn't show his face anywhere at all. But he is kind of one of those guys where if you say, hey, are you him type of thing, he'll admit to it. He's not going to lie at that point, but he's a really great artist. He's a lot of fun, and people are starting to catch on to Black Rock Shooter, which is, gosh, it's just ever expanding.
Well, wait, so it's not really a comic, it's not animation yet. It's just a character that shows up in images, right?
Yeah, he started off on a Japanese version of DeviantArt, basically, and I think it's called Pixiv. And basically he put up an image, something he created on his computer. All of his art is on computer, first off. There's nothing really drawn by hand. And he put it on that computer system, kind of internet site, and he got so many comments and so many people loving his art that that's kind of now become, it just changed his life, and now it's pretty much it is his living. So he creates a Black Rock Shooter, kind of a pictorial. There's no story, and there's an animation or two being created, and it's just a character that's ever expanding, but very quickly, because I think he started in 2008.
But when you went to conventions where he was, there were lineups for this guy's stuff, right?
Well, yeah, that's another thing we talk about is in this issue is we talk about both Comiket, which is comic market, and then there's Wonderfest. And Black Rock Shooter does factor into both of those big events. So Comiket is, I think, something like in 3 days, more than 500,000 people actually go to Comiket, and it's all about mostly independent comics. So we're talking about 30,000 different vendors. I guess they change every day. And Huke, Black Rock Shooter, is one of the bigger vendors, so he gets a spot that's near a wall. And right outside of that wall is the outdoors, and there's a huge line of thousands of people who are willing to buy his pictorial art book. It's not even a book, it's just actually it's something like a 24-page little kind of a small catalog kind of a thing of images. So it's a really wonderful
you took a bunch of pictures of cosplay people, and they're awesome photos, but there were actually some of women dressed like Black Rock Shooter.
Yeah, Black Rock Shooter is big enough where if you look even just online, you will see people dressed up in cosplay of his characters. It's still something that's not as known here, but in Japan it's getting more and more known. So you'll find out about it here a little more eventually. And I think that's kind of the power that it's having without a story. And the one thing he says too that I thought was interesting is instead of a story, he says that it can be interpreted by different people in different ways. So it can be animated, it can be live action animated, which I think is kind of going on now. They're actually making like a Coraline type of a doll that they're actually animating. Or it can be a live-action show. There's just no end to it. Or he said it could even be one of those super deformed figures, the little big head and little body. He said that too is okay. So he doesn't have this one, only singular vision. It's something that can be interpreted in many ways, which is kind of cool because you don't see that often enough in comics and characters.